What's up, guys? It's B-More here with the Treasure Finance Group YouTube channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Today, we will be doing a deep dive into Life NFT. So, Life NFT is one of the four games every year that will be bootstrapped by the Treasure DAO. So every quarter there will be a new game that will receive a certain amount of emissions. These games are voted on by the Treasure DAO, and they're usually, some of the most or more impressive games. So for Q1, it's Life NFT. For Q2, it's going to be Small Brains, Smallville, and I think that's all that's planned for now. So just a brief introduction and sort of the gist of what Life NFT is. It is a MMORPG style blockchain game. Everything is on chain, but it has sort of the elements of your classic MMORPGs, like World of Warcraft. So it has a really unique twist to it. So as the name implies, Life NFT, it sort of is a journey through, your character's life. So there's two gens. There's Gen 0 and then there's Gen 1. So Gen 0 will start with you taking your Seed of Life NFT and basically sacrificing it. So once you've basically like staked or sacrificed your Seed of Life, you will not be able to get that back. You'll receive a newborn, I think they call it a life form. So what basically happens is you'll receive your life form, and with your life form you'll receive a class. So there's one of 8 classes. The classes, we can scroll down really quick. The classes follow along with some of your classic MMORPG or even just RPG game classes, Warrior, Mage, Summoner, Paladin, Priest, Sharpshooter, Azura. I haven't heard of that. I guess that's sort of their own name for an alien force, and then Slayer. So you receive one of 8 classes, and there's rarities to them. So there's common, epic, uncommon, and then legendary. And so the percentages lies, based off of sort of those rarities. So there's gonna be a lot less of legendary characters than there are commons. So back to Gen 0. So once you start, you'll progress through your character's life, as you can see here: newborn, toddler, childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, and so on and so forth until death. And so there's 3 ways of sort of participating in Gen 0. You can pay no magic, you can pay 50 magic, or you can pay 50 magic and stake bouncer crystals. And then sort of this is the breakdown of like what exactly you'll get based off of those actions that you take. So if you really want full access to the game, you're going to want to do the 50 magic with the 3 balancer crystals. So you can, you'll be able to learn your offensive skills. So there's one offensive skill, then you'll learn a secondary skill, and then you'll earn a land deed. And the land deed is like super important to be able to play the full game. And so you won't get that with just 50 magic, and you won't get skills. You won't get the secondary skill. You won't get the land deed if you pay nothing. They are integrated with treasures. This is the first integration, and you will, if you stake treasures, you have a chance to earn a skill reset potion. And basically, if you've ever played World of Warcraft or any sort of like RPG, you'll have your skill tree. And then if you wanted to change that, you usually have to like pay like a fee, or you'd have to pay some sort of, fee or item or quest. So this is sort of their spin on that, is a skill reset potion. So I guess that would be if you wanted to change your offensive skill and your secondary skill slot. You'd have to use one of these. So basically, your character will go through its life and then it'll die, and you'll learn these skills that will carry on into the second generation. So back to sort of the rarities that I was referring to. As you can see here, they show the percentages. So it's 2.5% for legendary and then 30% for common. And these are like the main offensive skills for each class. And so can you change the class? No, you cannot change your class. So I assume there will be a secondary market. So once classes have been assigned, you'll be able to buy and sell your life forms. And I would assume that legendaries are going to fetch a higher price. So be on the lookout. Maybe on launch day, you can try and snipe some legendaries. So there's a difference between primary and secondary. Primary skills are fixed to the class itself, while secondary skills can be learned by traveling to different realms. So we'll get into that. So you'll pick 2 different realms at your birth, and basically the realms is where you'll learn skills. So if you're, say, a paladin, then you're going to want to pick a realm that will complement you'll want to pick a realm that will have a skill that will complement paladins, and etc. If you're a warrior, you're going to pick a realm that has a skill that will complement warriors. So, and also there's drop percentages. So if you pick a certain realm, you pick Vesper, you have 80% drop of getting a potion of swiftness, and then a 5% drop of getting a potion of gluttony. So it's a bit of RNG to see sort of what skills you'll get. I assume the rarer ones will be more powerful. So that's pretty cool. So then generation 1. So basically, once your life form dies in Gen 0, you'll resurrect, and you'll carry on the skills that you've learned in Gen 0. You'll carry that on into Gen 1. So Gen 1 is basically where you'll quest, you'll raid, you'll go through dungeons, and you can craft and etc. Just explore the whole world. So it says every week there's 2 dungeons across 2 separate realms that are active. So if we go back up here, you can see the realms right here, and so every week 2 of them will be active. And what I assume is that the loot that is dropped from each realm will be sort of what that will be for a class that sort of that realm is associated with. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So like say Dokkan Mountains, so this is Beast Tamer. So let's say that is, a sharpshooter. Maybe they have beasts associated with them. So maybe that's a sharpshooter location. And so then, if for that week that Dokkan Mountains are where the dungeons are held, then I assume that that items for the sharpshooter will drop. And maybe it's random, but like that's typically what I would assume. And then it rotates to different realms. You'll be able to collect different sets of loot and different craftable items that are relevant to the corresponding realm and its lore. So the lore comes into play with sort of, the loot and what you'll be getting. So what you need to participate in these dungeons, and I assume you're going to want to do it every week to make sure you're sort of like geared up. And you want to get geared up, just something like in World of Warcraft, like you'll gear up playing like dungeons at first, like little five-man dungeons, and then you'll sort of like get better gear, and then be able to participate in like lower tier raids and get better loot and gear, and then eventually face the higher tier raids. So and the same thing, you need to be geared up for world raids, and those will have the most like lucrative loot and Yeah. Also, for world raids, they take place monthly, and there's like different things that can happen with these world raids. So world raids can tend to be dangerous, and if left unchecked, can spread and bring temporal damage and changes to the way the Fane's world receives and emits magic to its inhabitants. So I'm interpreting that as if the world raids go undefeated, then maybe magic emissions slow down. Um, but I guess that's sort of left up to interpretation. And also, you can seek. So maybe sometimes there's world raids that will occur that you'll need help of allies outside of the ecosystem. So that's sort of like bringing in, other characters. So, legions maybe will come in, or small brains, or, who knows what other sort of characters come about in the treasure ecosystem that might be able to help out. So Gen 1 is all free to play. And then, so what are the drops in dungeons and world raids? So the drops are reward chests and magic pouches. So reward chests, they have tiers, and from bronze to diamond. And so basically, you'll be able to get consumables, scroll of reanimation, enchantment scrolls, crystallized essence, sticky ichor, and then you'll be able to get gear and skin for your characters. And then there's also, it says there's secret objects hidden deep within each of the 8 realm specific dungeons. And you'll be able to get like fragments, and you'll be able to like combine those fragments maybe with your buddies. And then I assume there'll be sort of like legendary items, like legendary weapons or legendary gear that will you'll be able to combine to form. And then I think this is like really cool twist on like sort of magic emissions, rather than just like, staking or getting like a set amount of magic per week. This is sort of leaving it up to RNG. So you have to like not only like participate in the game to like play the dungeons enough to like get the correct gear, but then you're also gonna have to like participate in world raids and be skilled enough and like have friends or like find people on Discord that will be able to raid with you that also are geared up, and then you'll be able to get like more magic emissions. So like there's bronze pouches all the way up to diamond pouches, and diamond pouches drop 500 magic, bronze pouches only drop 10. So I mean, this is an example of like a dungeon here. So these are 3 bosses, and there's 3 different rewards. So you got in one dungeon, say there's 5 people, you got a diamond and a silver, so you got 550 magic split between 5 people. What's the math on that? 110 each person, $300. Not bad. And also you'll be able to gear up, get crown of redacted staff, etc. for your characters, so you can be more powerful and continue to earn more magic. So rare classes benefit from dungeons and world raids. It says yes, the rarer classes will have skills that will be an advantage in dungeons and raids, and they suggest that maybe these rare classes will be able to command more of the loot. So it might be necessary to have an Azora or an a Slayer in your raid group, but maybe you don't need a sharpshooter or you don't need a warrior, but maybe you always need one of these 2. Who knows? And then also there's less of them. So, and I assume you can only raid. There's like a cooldown on it. So, you're gonna have to like maybe bid for those characters to like join you. And then it goes on and sort of gives you a lore behind each realm, gives you the background. Feel free to hop on in and read this. I'm sure there's some alpha that you could dig through this. So yeah. Oh, also last bit, there's another treasure integration here. So you'll be able to stake your treasures, or maybe not stake them, but you'll be able to use your treasures to craft and you'll be able to craft stamina potions, which will help you in Bridge World. So they'll like reduce crafting time, or you can use them in life for whatever reason they've set aside. And also, treasures will be helpful during raids. So you equip them, and in raids they'll help you in some way. So yeah, that's sort of the gist of Life NFT. The game will be coming out fairly soon. A tidbit of alpha is the first generation, Gen 0, takes 8 weeks, and you will not be receiving any magic emissions for those 8 weeks. So I guess the gamble is you want to buy your Seed of Life now and try and roll for a Azora or Slayer, or just like a more rare class. But your money will be tied up for those 8 weeks. But it'll be fun. I mean, you'll go through the game, the Gen 0 progression. You'll be able to sort of pick your realms, customize your character. But just from an investment standpoint, your money's going to be tied up for those 8 weeks, and you're not going to be earning any yield at all. Or the other option would be to pick one up off of secondary, sort of after Gen 0 is finished. You can pick up a character, and it might be more expensive at that time. Who knows? It might be the same price, but for those, there's no opportunity costs. So yeah, that's just sort of my input on that little investment tidbit. If you guys have any questions about the game, about Magic, about Treasure Ecosystem, feel free to DM me on Twitter or join my Discord. The link is below. I appreciate you guys listening to the whole video. If you guys have any suggestions for maybe my next video, or maybe some tips on how to improve my content, feel free to leave a comment, or like I said, DM me, talk on Discord. I really appreciate it, guys, and please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.